First Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Back here, First Things First, we'll get to Steph Curry's injury in a second. But first, Wizards, Rockets, Thomas Bryant throwing James Harden's layup attempt off the backboard.
And watch this play closely, because it was the only good defensive play either team made the entire basketball game.
Well, the final was like 2005.
159-158, third highest scoring game ever.
I mean, honestly.
Regulation.
Cavs and Bulls, Kevin Love finds a cutting Colin Sexton, dunks all over Wendell Carter Jr. with the left hand.
Yeah, that's a facial right there. He's got quick hops right there. That means he gets up off the floor before the defender can react, puts him on a poster.
Sixers, T-Wolves, pick and roll action. Ben Simmons gets the pass from Matisse Thybulle and hits a smooth reverse slam.
Matisse Thybulle, a very promising rookie, great defensive player. Nice offensive play by him with the pass. But Ben Simmons, I thought he was going to lay it in on the reverse side.
Nah, he
throws it down.
He's going to punch that. That's a nice play, but that's not what everybody wants to see. We want him to show up the J. Show us the J, Ben Simmons. We want to see it.
You mentioned punching something in that basketball game. A little dangerous last night.
Celtics Bucks. Kemba Walker hits Giannis with the big step-back jumper.
Where are you going,
there
Giannis?
It is.
Man, by the way, this is my Fox bet lock last night. Milwaukee -3.5. They're 2.5 actually. They're up by 20 in the first half. Get blown out in the second half. What are you doing, Milwaukee? Making me look bad? Costing me money?
Hey, Milwaukee, why don't you factor Nick into any of your game plans?
I've been your biggest national supporter. Oh, no.
On to the Warriors now. New season, new arena, and new problems for the defending Western Conference champs. Two-time MVP Steph Curry suffered a broken hand in the team's loss to the Suns last night. Curry will have a CT scan to determine if surgery is the next step, but a timetable for his return is not yet set. Regardless, it is not good for a Warriors team with just one win on the season. Nick, what was your reaction to Curry's broken hand and where the Warriors are now?
All right, so multitude of reactions. First one, totally preventable play. Chris Carter laughs when I say this, but this is why trying to take that weak side charge is a dangerous play that should be eliminated from basketball. Aaron Baines, a foot is 7 inches taller than Steph Curry, 80 pounds heavier. Go up and contest or get out the way, because this is what can happen. I've been saying this for 3 years. The worst thing in basketball is these big guys trying to come over, take these weak side charges instead of going up and playing defense, because it's dangerous for both players. Now, one of our best players in the league is sidelined. Some injuries you can't prevent. This is preventable, but everybody takes these damn weak side charges. All right, I'm off my high horse on that. Now to the actual impact.
Okay.
For the Warriors, you can argue it's a blessing in disguise. For the Warriors, that team's not going to be great this year anyway. They now are going to have a higher draft pick. Steph, after 5 straight trips to the NBA Finals, 5 straight 100-ish game seasons, a little less because he's missed some time due to injury, but 5 straight very long seasons. He can recuperate, rest. They can maybe up D'Angelo Russell's trade value as far as featuring him. So for the Warriors, aside from the people who paid a few $1 million for the PSLs in their new Chase Center in San Francisco, this is not devastating, it's just disappointing. For Stephen Curry, Chris, I find this very, very disappointing. Not just because he's going to miss time, but he's going to miss an opportunity. He's going to miss the opportunity that LeBron James had a couple years ago, the year Kyrie left. Everyone knew that Cavs team couldn't win the title, but we were able to see LeBron as a one-man show, and a lot of people say that might be his best individual regular season ever. The opportunity Russell Westbrook had the year when KD left, before Paul George got there, where he leads the league in scoring, averages a triple-double, and puts his team on his back. Hell, we can go back 25 years. The opportunity Scottie Pippen had the year Jordan retired the first time, when he gets the Bulls to 55 wins, to the playoffs, is an MVP candidate. Steph was going to have that opportunity this year to remind everyone that the old hashtag Steph better actually is true. That opportunity has now been taken from him. Maybe the Warriors are better long-term because of it, but for Steph, this is devastating.
No, it absolutely is, and for all the reasons that you just outlined, and it was going to be an opportunity for Steph in the context of the super team era to come out and show his individual greatness. He was going to have an MVP caliber season for this team to be competitive in the Western Conference and get into the postseason. But now that's gone away. But we always knew coming into this year that this was going to be a season of transition for the Warriors just because of all the losses they had this offseason. Losing Kevin Durant in free agency, Klay Thompson tearing his ACL in the NBA Finals, losing Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston and Quinn Cook. Like, you knew that they were trying to replenish the ranks and build some more depth. And with that is going to come some growing pains. But now you have an opportunity for extended minutes for guys like Eric Paschall, for Jordan Poole, so you'll get to see them. And then, of course, you can feature D'Angelo Russell and see if you can continue to develop an asset so that when your team is healthy and ready to win again, you could potentially trade him and bring back a complementary piece to your core of Draymond, Steph, and Klay.
And just real quick, that's such a smart point about D'Angelo Russell, because when they did the sign and trade for Durant, it was not because they thought D'Angelo Russell was part of the long-term future. It's you have an asset going out the door. Can we bring an asset in that we could then flip for players that actually fit with Steph and Klay coming together? So it's a great point by you.
But, Nick, even though it's a small sample size, it's 4 games, we haven't seen MVP Steph Curry. They were down 29 points when he got hurt. The team was already struggling. How much of this now falls on, this is what we talked about all week, the pressure on Sean McVay to do a lot without very much? How much now falls on, I know you're laughing, Steve Kerr to say, hey, it was easy the last couple years when I had a stacked team. I don't have that anymore. Let's see what I can do without him.
Well, Steve Kerr talked about it after the loss to the Clippers. He said this is going to be a new reality for this team. Now, I think he was referring to how it was defensively and allowing the Clippers to score 140-plus points. But when you looked at this team, you knew that it wasn't a championship contending roster. And then based on the moves that had happened this offseason, what the Clippers did, what the Lakers did, knowing the Denver Nuggets are still going to be there, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Houston Rockets,
the Jazz added.
The Jazz. It was going to be tough for the Golden State Warriors. So I don't know how much pressure is really on Steve Kerr. I just look at it from this situation. Steve Kerr has got to do, he's got to do his work actually as a coach now. There's no more Draymond Green drawing up plays on the whiteboard on the sideline in between timeouts. So I just think that he's got to earn his money as a coach, and a big part of that is going to be the development of young talent on that roster.
And listen, we knew that this year there was going to be an element of the Warriors going from the luxury penthouse to, you know, living with the common folk. It now appears that they are, you know what I mean, looking for some shelter. They have dropped down to that level. But some of that has to, we can't say Bob Myers and the Golden State Warriors are light years ahead of everyone and not put on their plate, with or without Steph Curry, how bad of a defensive team this was going to be. We can't talk about Steve Kerr as a all-time, record-wise, great coach and not mention, no matter what the personnel you have, being the worst-ranked defense in basketball is not a personnel issue. That is a motivation issue. That is an effort issue. This team does not have the personnel to be a good defensive team. I'm not arguing
Very small backcourt.
But they... Any team, every single year, that is the worst defense in the league, that is an effort issue. If they were the 23rd ranked defense, now again, it's super early, but and here's another effort issue. They've been down 30 in all of their losses this year. 31, 42, 34. You mentioned they were down 29 when Steph got hurt. This wasn't a game that just got away from them. I think it was 43-14 at the end of the first quarter to the damn Phoenix Suns. And the Suns are playing better this year, but come on. Like, there is an element of, if for the Warriors, can you do what so many other teams have to do every year, which is get up to play knowing best we can do is the 7 seed. A great season for us would be an amazing season for us would be an upset in the first round of the playoffs. Man, that is the universe. The Orlando Magic, the Charlotte Hornets, the New Orleans Pelicans
every year
have been in for the last decade. And you see those guys playing with a level of intensity that you weren't seeing from the Warriors thus far this year. Now they have, the reason I said it can be a blessing for them, now they have an excuse.
I was just going to write that down. It's an excuse.
Now
exactly
it's like, oh, we
now
lost
you can
Steph.
say, well, we lost Steph.
But they were projected to win 49 games this year. Steph Curry was a trendy MVP pick. That can't all be forgotten at this point. But for Steph, this is killer, man.
And
it's
again,
just a killer.
We don't know how long he's going to be out. It is probably a considerable amount of time.
Probably a couple months.
The question before the season started is now the question that remains. Who are the Golden State Warriors? They don't really know who they are yet.
Well, right now, no. Right now we know. Right now, they're one of the 3 worst teams in basketball. No Steph Curry. They're one of the 3 worst teams in basketball, hands down.
Take a break. Coming up, has Joel Embiid's act worn thin after his brawl with Carl